right, as said, I'm Matt Litchford, and about 3 years ago, I had an idea. I was taking a full load at a community college, but of that full load, 2 classes were biology and abnormal psychology. And they both started genetics, the genetics part of the template, at the same time. Spent 3 weeks in biology on genetics, mutation, expression, heredity, everything. 20 minutes in abnormal psychology is what we devoted to genetics. 20 minutes. It's been accepted since the 70s that mental illnesses such as depression and bipolar disorder and schizophrenia pass between family members, but no one's investigating it. At least that's what I thought at the time. I started doing research, and at the time, nothing was out there. Genetic research was being done into comorbidity, but not into cause, or what specific genes might be doing what. So I had the idea that, what if one day you could take a cheek swab of someone and tell them they have schizophrenia, or tell them they have major depression? Average psychological diagnosis takes between 6 months to 12 years for a fully accurate, or 12 months, excuse me, for a fully accurate diagnosis. 6 months to a year that they could be receiving treatment, that they could be getting help, that they're not. And some of these people don't even know they're suffering with this disease. They don't go seek this treatment, so they'll never know. So, the idea. It's more than just a swab, because public health, psychology, medicine, it's all about not what the idea for tomorrow is, but what the idea for next year is, and 10 years, and 20 years. So I came up with this. What if, at the moment of birth, vaccinations are given, we could do a swab and tell the parents, your child has schizophrenia, your child has major depression, your child has bipolar. What could you do for that child in the expression of genes through environment? What kind of behavioral things could you do for that child as far as teaching, education, parenting skills? Just exposure to certain social situations or different environments can have huge impacts on the expression of these major diseases. Why wouldn't we do this? Now, it seems like science fiction. I'm sure it does. It did to me when I first heard about the study that came out of this. But it's possible. In February 2013, Dr. Jordan Smaller and his team out of Harvard completed the largest genetic psychiatric research study in history. 60,000 people worldwide. And what they found is a mutation in 2 genes that is present in everyone with autism, bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, schizophrenia, and ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. 5 of the most debilitating disorders in psychology share a common link. And now we know where that common link is. Dr. Smaller says it's going to be a few years before we can find the other parts of the gene that are coming together. But right now, we have 2 places to start. We have these genes now. With further research, an institute where you could take your child and find out what's going to happen in the future and give them a brighter future because of it is well within our reach. It's well within my lifetime. It's well within your lifetime. I truly believe that. That's what I want to devote my life to, because eventually psychology has to take the same stance that medicine did. It's not about treating illness. It's about preventing illness. It's about preventing the effects of illness. We need to go from the Band-Aid models of psychology to a preventative model of psychology. Dr. Martin Seligman gave a talk, a TED Talk actually, on positive genetics and positive psychology, using psychology not just to get people to normal, but get people to good. Because it's not just about getting through the day, it's about living a full life. And I think that genetics is going to be the key for this kind of research. That if once we move from trying to stop someone from committing suicide to giving them a better life, I think we've made a huge move in the right direction for public health. This future is within our reach, and we can do it. And some of you may think it's interesting or a unique idea, but not think about the applications. Do you have nieces or nephews, brothers or sisters? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to have a kid who at 16 attempts suicide because he's been hearing voices for the past 2 years and you didn't know? Or do you want a kid that you can help guide so that when those voices come, if they do, you already have the tools to help them deal with it, to cope with it, and maybe get back to a normal life, and maybe more than that. This is about a brighter future for everyone, for every generation after this. It's within our reach. We just have to go out and get it. Thank you. Questions?
So long for those tests to become standardized?
Mostly because, I mean, everything in your makeup is predicted by your genes or dictated by your genes and environmental expression. But it's not just a single gene that's doing it. It's hundreds or thousands of single mutations or single expressions that come out into hair color, eye color, things like that. You know, I'm not great with genetics. I'm still learning it myself. But I know that for one piece of the whole, it can take dozens, hundreds of specific expressions to cause one change. So finding two that's present in, you know, out of a sample of 60,000 in every single person with all 5 of these results is a massive discovery, even though it's only 2. So, I mean, it's the first steps, and it's going to take time to see what else plays a factor in this. But I do think it is going to be more quickly coming now, especially now that we've mapped the human genome. I think it's just been the technology wasn't there, and now that it is, it's just going to take time. They found 2 genes. The study was started in 2006.
So would that mean that there would be an extra cost, like as you said, for the year, when the child's born? Then would that be an extra cost?
Ideally, the hard part is finding the genes for the first time. Once you find them for the first time, you can put the parameters into a genetic screening and just put it through. So really, it's going to take a lot of money to get the research off the ground. Thankfully, that money is already being spent, but more is needed. But the hope is that, my personal hope, if I could have any hand in this, would to make every test and all the consultations with $1,000. I know that sounds like a lot, but a one-time expense for $1,000 could save you tens of thousands of dollars off a lifetime of medication or further treatment, and it would really be a good head start. And if we could do it for cheaper than $1,000, I'll do that too. I mean, I want this to be available to everyone. I want it to be available not to everyone in America, but everyone in the world who can get access to this. And I want it to be done cheap.